on WMUN 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and the Gainbridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network. Welcome to This Week in Ball State Sports, highlighting the Cardinal teams, administration, alumni, and community. Now here's the voice of the Cardinals, your host, Mick Tidrow.
Good morning, Ball State Cardinals fans, and welcome to another edition of This Week in Ball State Sports every Thursday from 9 to 9:30 a.m. right here on WMUN. So happy to have you with us here today and every single week. Just search us on This Week in Ball State Sports to listen to this replay or any other replays from our entire showcase. And we have a great lineup for you here today. Mike Uremovich, Ball State football, leads things off. Lindsey Green, a setter for women's volleyball, also on the show. And Director of Athletics, Jeff Mitchell, joins at the very end. Coach U is up first. Coach, appreciate your time right before you head out to practice again.
Appreciate you having me on.
Of course, Coach, it's a good morning after a victory against Ohio on Saturday. What impressed you most about Saturday's second half performance?
Just that our guys continue to play hard and fight. You know, after a tough start, we were down 14-0, and you know, they just kept playing and didn't look up at the scoreboard, and then we got an opportunity to go win the game in the fourth quarter, which is something we talk about a lot. So just proud of the whole team effort and the way the coaches prepared the guys and didn't panic when we were down. It was what a lot of MAC football games are going to be like. They're going to be decided in the fourth quarter.
And you said that in your opening press conference. You know what it takes to win in the fourth quarter in the Mid-American Conference. How did you see that fully on display, that every single moment mattered in that fourth quarter?
It was great. You know, we got the. I mean, if you want to tie it all together, you got a good special teams play to punt the ball down the 1 yard line. You get a defensive safety, and then the offense goes down and scores to win the game. So it is a team. Anytime you win a game, man, you win it as a team, and every time you lose a game, you lose it as a team. And there's always something each side of the ball could do better, obviously, and we're working on that this week because we got to continue to improve every week as the season goes on. But it was fun to see all three phases have something to do with that.
Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. You mentioned all three phases, and I love that you brought up the punt, Coach, because Adam Soul put that ball right on the 1 yard line. The defense moments later picked up a sack. How did you feel like that turned the tide in that fourth quarter?
Well, it's great because obviously it's a huge momentum play. You obviously get 2 points out of it as well and the ball back. So, you know, I really felt at that point when we got the safety that you know, we would have a tremendous opportunity to come back and win the game.
Coach, we did a tail of the tape segment on video with you across the Ball State football coaches, across the Ball State football social channels on the throw from Kyle Kelly to Keon Magwood. You broke it all down, and you could check out that video on the social channels. But to a high-level degree, that play was executed to that exact result. How hard is it to do exactly what happened in that play?
It's hard, especially when you're playing against a good team and a good corner. And, you know, it's hard to gain yards in college football. It's hard to stop people on defense because, you know, I tell the coaches, the other teams got guys on scholarship and they got good coaches too. So obviously we work really hard to execute, and you want to execute at all times, but it's really important to be able to execute at the key moments of the game. And, you know, we got the ball back and executed a 2-minute drive to get to the point where those guys could make that play.
How much have you seen Keon Magwood take the next step with this team since you got on campus?
He's been a great leader since we've been here. He's worked really hard since we've been here. But obviously, once you start making plays in games and once you start catching balls, you know, your confidence level is going to go up. And, you know, it's been fun to watch that with him. And he's going to continue to improve as the season goes on, just like the rest of our team should.
Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports, talking football, review Ohio. We'll get to Western Michigan and Ball State's next opponent here coming up in a few moments. Coach, how much have you seen the offensive line take the next step as well? I know you mentioned that group in camp as an area that you wanted to see develop and throughout the season, but how have you seen that group do that?
They work really hard at it. They spend a lot of time, you know, away from us, away from Coach Barr, away from, you know, the time parameters that we have as a college football program. You get only so many hours a week with them. Those guys spend extra time watching film on their own. They spend extra time talking through things. And it really has to be 5 guys playing as one up there, and we're playing 7. Mm-hmm. So you know, all 7 of those guys need to be locked into what the calls are on a play-to-play basis and how we're IDing the front and, you know, blitz pickup. And, you know, part of that also falls on the tight ends and tailbacks in the run game as well as, you know, in pass protection.
I love it. You just brought up pass protection from running backs, so I'm going to bring up Quay Ashley making a block on that final throw from Kelly to Keon. How pivotal has Quay Ashley's blocking in pass protection been from a running back standpoint?
He's been great. They've all done a nice job, but Quay is really, really good at it. He's one of the best guys I've ever coached in understanding the protection and understanding the blitzes and understanding where he's got to get to. And half of pass protection is, expecting what's going to come your way in terms of pressure so you can get to it quicker, because you're not going to make those blocks forever. If you're blocking the blitzing linebacker, you're not going to sustain that block for 5 seconds. So every tenth of a second, hundredth of a second counts, and he knows when they're blitzing and where it's coming from, and he can go attack it and get to it sooner, which buys us some more time. So he's done a really nice job.
Well, Coach, he chipped the first guy and then picked up his blocker on the second moment on that big play.
Yep.
He did such a great job.
Yeah, it's a great play. It was a great play.
Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. Talking some football, reviewing Ohio. Last one from Ohio, Coach, with the defense only giving up 14 points. 0 points in the second half as a whole against one of the MAC's best offenses. How are you seeing Jeff Knoll's group come together?
They're running to the ball, which makes up for a lot of mistakes, and they've done that in every game that we played, whether we won or lost. They run to the football. They play very hard. We're playing a lot of guys on defense, which gives them an opportunity to go in there and play really hard and then get out and take a break and let their teammate go in there. But just like every other, I keep saying this, and I'll say this for the next 7 weeks or however, many times we're talking, we still need to continue to improve. There's still things, you look at the game and we shut them out in the second half, but I know all of the players and the coaches feel like they could have shut them out in the first half. We had a couple things that we didn't do properly in the first half that we were able to fix. So we're always trying to get better, and they did play a great game. I'm not taking anything away from them, but there's things we can improve on.
Coach, looking at Western Michigan, they're 3-3 in the Mid-American Conference. They've started off 2-0 in MAC play. Their defense has only given up 16 points within those 2 games, and their defense leads the entire country in team sacks. How have you seen that Western Michigan defense when you turn on the tape?
They are a very physical, very well-coached group. I think they have great players everywhere. Their front seven, like you said, all the sacks that they've had, and part of those are because they're really talented up front, and part of it is because they're really good on the back end, so they're covering people and they're not getting open, and the quarterback has a hold on the ball a little bit longer than he wants. And they really do play team football. They're a run-first offense. The quarterback can throw the ball, but if it was up to them, they would have the ball for 6 minutes on offense and run it. And then they'd go out there and get that defense out there and shorten the game. And they've won 3 in a row. Like you said, they're 2-0 in the MAC. They're playing really good football.
Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. Every Thursday, 9 to 9:30, our show is live right here on WMUN. Coach, you mentioned the offense for Western Michigan. Jalen Buckley was the guy a couple of years ago as the premier player in this offense as the MAC Freshman of the Year 2023 at running back. You mentioned the quarterback, though. Brock Lowry's been the guy who's really engineered that offense. What do you see from Brock Lowry?
I agree. The tailback's a very talented player, and he's been very successful, in a lot of games this year. They are running the quarterback a little bit more because that's what he's really good at. And both between those two guys, you have to get them down, and they do a bunch of different things formationally and shifts and motions, things that make it hard to fit the runs. So we have to have really good eye discipline on defense this week. And because of all the running that they do, and people are selling out to stop the run, which you have to do, it opens up a lot of one-on-ones and play action and throwing the ball down the field. And, they had some big pass plays against Toledo down the field, big plays, because Toledo at some point said, okay, we got to get more people down in there to stop the run.
Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. Coach, go enjoy a cool, brisk practice this morning at 44 degrees. Appreciate your time as always.
We'll be outside. This is football weather. We're getting into MAC weather here. This is great.
You know what? You and I always talk about it. We were waiting for under 50 degrees at either a kickoff or either a practice, and we're finally there, Coach. Appreciate you always.
Well, I can promise you that's going to happen in a couple of weeks here. That's playing MAC football games.
Well, you know it better than anybody. When we go to DeKalb, it's probably 34 degrees and rainy in November or October, so we're just getting ready for it.
Yeah, we're just preparing.
Coach, appreciate you.
All right, have a great day.
You too. That's head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports, talking a little bit of Ball State football. Up next, Lindsey Green from Ball State Women's Volleyball joins the show next for the 5-0 MAC Cardinals. She's next on This Week in Ball State Sports.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
And we're back on This Week in Ball State Sports, live every Thursday, 9 to 9:30, right here on WMUN. Special thank you to Leslie Griffin for producing here today and almost every week like she does here on the show. Thank you to Coach Uremovich for joining us a few moments ago. And up next, Lindsey Green on the phone lines live here on WMUN, Ball State women's volleyball setter. Lindsey, really appreciate your time joining us this morning, especially after a late Tuesday night in Miami.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Lindsey. How would you describe what the season's been like so far for this volleyball team?
Oh, this season's been awesome. It's been super, super fun to be able to play with, as everybody can see, a young group of girls. So this year, compared to a lot of the years that I've been here, we're super young and super new. But I think that is just so exciting because it means that everybody is here and just wants to play and loves doing what they're doing. So it's been super fun.
Lindsey, you mentioned the young group coming together. You're a veteran on this team that's been here for a few seasons now. What's it been like to help work with and lead this young group?
Yeah, as a natural-born leader, it's been super exciting to be able to take these girls under my wings and kind of show them the ropes, show them obviously how to go through their challenges, how to come out on the other side, and be able to support them.
You and Reese Axness, who's a freshman, one of those young pieces on this Ball State women's volleyball team, have gone back-to-back weeks as setter pair of the week. What's it been like to work with Reese?
Oh, it's awesome. Reese is one of the coolest people that I know, and it's really cool because when I was obviously my freshman, sophomore year, I followed Megan, so she was a great role model for me, and I'm really excited to be able to be a role model for Reese now as well.
You mentioned Megan being able to learn from her, and you had some time last year where you played as well. What was it like to be able to dip your toes into the rotation last year to make sure that you could be in the position that you are this season?
I think it made this season a lot easier just knowing what to expect from the games, kind of understand how the college game works because it is different when you get older. It is a lot faster and people play a lot better and everybody around you is good. So it was really cool to be able to, like you said, dip my toe into the water and kind of figure out the ropes of things when I was just still a sophomore.
Lindsey Green joining us live here on This Week in Ball State Sports, talking Ball State women's volleyball. Lindsey, looking at last match against Miami, what was clicking for the Cardinals that day?
I think offensively, we've really started to figure things out. I think when we're in the 6-2 offense that we're in, we have a lot of powerful hitting options. And I think when we're passing well, that's really an issue for teams because there's not just one person that you can shut down on this team because we have 6, sometimes 7 hitters that are absolutely killing it at the net and pretty hard to stop.
You mentioned 6 or 7 hitters, Lindsey. Cam Wise has played incredible this year, leading the conference in hit percentage in the middle. Then you have Carson Tyler, who took 80 swings in a match this year against Cincinnati. Noelle Van Oort's come in as a transfer and been lights out. When you look at that front line of attackers, how much fun is it to set for a group that attacks the way it does?
Oh, it's awesome. It is like the most fun experience ever. And the really cool thing is everybody can run everything. So as a setter, one of the coolest parts of being a setter is that you get to be creative with the offense and what you choose to run. And really everything that everybody's running kind of goes under you. So when you have all of these hitters that are so successful like our hitters are, it's really cool to be able to run a lot of different routes and have creativity within that. And
then every once in a while you get to slam a kill home too.
Yeah, because that's very important. Got to get my one every once in a while.
Lindsey Green, the setter for Ball State women's volleyball, joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Lindsey, how much have you learned from Kelly Miller-Phillips in your time at Ball State?
So much. I mean, I think everybody talks about how much you grow as a college athlete, but I think you don't even understand how much you're going to grow until you're in it. And even just being a junior, I feel like I have learned so much, not only about myself, about my game, about myself outside of volleyball. And I'm excited to continue to grow within these next 2 years as well, too.
Lindsey, you talk about growth and your time here at Ball State. How would you describe what your journey's been like so far as a Cardinal?
I mean, obviously a ton of ups and downs, but I think those ups and downs are what make being a college athlete being a college athlete. I've learned a lot about myself inside of volleyball, but I've also challenged myself and had to learn about who I am outside of volleyball. And I think that's a really big part that doesn't get talked about very often, is you're not only trying to become your best self on the court, but you're also trying to become your best self off the court.
How have you found that outside the court?
I think for me, it's looking to the resources I have. So whether that be spending time with my teammates outside of practice, or finding time to talk with my family, or even finding time to sit in nature, just finding time to take my mind off of volleyball, since it is a lot of our lives and it is a lot of what we think about.
Ooh, you mentioned nature. Where's your favorite spot to go?
The neighborhood behind North is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my entire life. The trees are awesome, and I absolutely love spending time back there.
I love it. That's awesome. Lindsey Green joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports, a setter for the women's volleyball squad who's 5-0 inside the Mid-American Conference. Lindsey, the team had the non-conference schedule, and Coach Wheeler Phillips always talks about how pivotal it is to challenge yourselves as much as possible. And you guys have had to weather through some of the injuries from the beginning of the season. How have you just seen this team continue to battle back and face some of that adversity?
I mean, this preseason was tough. It was a long 4 weeks, but I think you can see now how much challenging ourselves just makes us so much better. When you go from preseason to normal regular season, it really is a test to see how much you grew. And I think by looking at our ranking and our 5-0 right now, it really shows how much we grew as a team within that preseason. And even though preseason didn't go necessarily the way that we want to, I think it made us grow in ways that we couldn't even have imagined.
Lindsey, you said the word challenge. How have you challenged yourself to be better this year?
I've really challenged myself to be better in a leadership standpoint. I think this team is very different than the teams that we've been on in the past, and since there is so many young guys, and we truly don't really have any true seniors on the team right now. It's definitely been a challenge for me to have to step up and kind of take that senior role. But I think it's been a really exciting challenge, and one that has helped me grow tremendously. How
wild is it to think about that? Like, no 4-year seniors on the team right now because of just the way that the roster's constructed?
It is insane. And sometimes the younger girls are asking us questions and we're like, we haven't even been there either. So it's kind of cool because we're all going through some things for the first time together, which I think obviously makes us have a better connection as a team as well.
How much do you think that is going to help in the long run?
Oh, 100%. I think we've now established a connection within a team that is one of the most special ones since I've been here. And it's really, really cool to see that. And it's really fun to be a part of as well. It makes every single day worth it.
Lindsey Green joining us on the phone lines live here on WMUN This Week in Ball State Sports, talking women's volleyball here this season. A 5-0 record so far in Mid-American Conference play. Lindsey, this weekend, Ball State and Toledo matching up, two teams that are undefeated in the Mid-American Conference. How excited are you to attack the MAC's other team that's undefeated right now?
Oh, we're ready. We're really ready. We don't really look at our record as a big thing. The 5-0 is great, but we have end goals that we want to accomplish, and our big goals are, can we get better every single day in order to win that MAC championship and be ready then? So Toledo, to us, is another really important game, just like every game's important. We're excited to be at home, excited to play in front of our fans again. So we're really looking forward to go and hopefully 2-0 again this weekend.
Lindsey, this week you also had midweek action. You played Tuesday against Miami, then Friday, Saturday against Toledo. How much fun is it to have that midweek game, to have 3 matches in a single week in conference play?
You know, it's very different. It makes for a long Tuesday, but the Tuesday was super exciting, and to be able to play on a Tuesday instead of just practice is always super fun. And Miami is my hometown, so it's a great place to go to and play in front of my family as well.
Lindsey Green joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. Lindsey, really appreciate your time here this morning, and best of luck this weekend and the rest of the year.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Lindsey Green for joining us of Ball State women's volleyball here on This Week in Ball State Sports. How about that? Enjoys nature, great time for it with the fall coming up. really, we finally hit fall. 45 degrees this morning. Got a long walk in with the dog yesterday when we got home. Just perfect weather. Perfect opportunity to finally feel that chilly air during football and volleyball season. All right, we'll step aside one final time. We'll come back. Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell joins the show. We have a lot to talk about with Jeff, including his athleticism on full display Saturday at the Ball State football game. So, Jeff, hope you're ready to talk a little bit of leaping in the air during touchdowns. That's next on This Week in Ball State Sports.
And low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
Final segment here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Special thank you to Lindsey Green of Ball State Women's Volleyball for joining us, and also head coach Mike Uremovich of Ball State Football. Great show up to this point, and Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell is our final guest in our segment. Jeff, appreciate your time as always. Thanks for joining us on a Thursday morning.
Well, thank you, Mick. Pleasure to be here. I hope the show continues to go well. I hope I don't let you down.
No, you won't, especially with the athleticism that you showed on Saturday. I think that's rubbed off on everybody, and the excitement has continued to go. Let's start there. Your moment went viral as the touchdown was happening between Kyle Kelly and Keon Magwood. Marketing Communications got a photo of you jumping into the air right by Keon Magwood. How cool was that moment?
Well, it's really special, and I've received far too much attention for that leap than I deserve. But, in the moment where, from our standpoint, where you're working every day to support our student athletes and our coaches, and to have them have a moment where victory, is within our reach, it's joyous. And so that moment fully encapsulated my feelings at that particular time, which was just sheer joy, and particularly for Kyle Kelly and Keon Magwood, who have chosen to stay at Ball State, and I can't emphasize enough the significance of those older student athletes in this day and age where rampant transferring is the norm, that they decided to stay and work towards graduation and to develop this new team and to start having some success. And so, all of those emotions for Coach Uremovich, for Kyle, for Keon, for their teammates, for our fans, everything in that moment sprung me off the ground. And it was just, and at the moment, I didn't realize that I was doing it. I was just cheering on our guys, like I normally do. And then you see the picture, and it's cool. It's a good thing that it was captured. I certainly wasn't looking for the attention, but the moment was real, and I've had the opportunity to share this with other people who have asked about it, and that's meaningful. So I appreciate you asking the question this morning.
Of course, Jeff, and Andy Thorpe on Facebook, he had responded to the picture and said we should hang it in the Owsley Museum. So I don't know if we have any power to do that, but I think there should be a conversation there. If you haven't seen the photo, go check it out on Ball State Sports socials.
I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you.
Jeff Mitchell, Director of Athletics, joining us here from Ball State on This Week in Ball State Sports. Jeff, just going back to the football situation for a moment, down 14-0, 20 unanswered points against the defending MAC champion Ohio Bobcats, who return a ton of talent. That's a very, very good football team that the Cardinals beat 20-14 on Saturday. How big of a game was that for this football program?
Well, I think it's huge, and we haven't beaten Ohio since 2012 as a program, and anytime you have an opportunity to play these games, you're going to go compete, and that certainly has been our mentality all year long. To open up conference play against the defending MAC champions was a daunting task, and I credit our program for not flinching. Coach Uremovich, leading up to the game, said, "We're ready to go," and you can see it in the guys that they're believing in what is happening within this program, and it is kind of a one play at a time mentality. You heard Coach at the top of the show talk about the guys didn't look at the scoreboard; they were playing the next play, and when you follow that process, the results do eventually happen and occur the way you want them to. And so, for us to stick around and to win the second half, in particular to win the fourth quarter, is a shift in how we've played in the previous years, where the fourth quarter has really been a nemesis to us. But the mentality from the moment that Coach Uremovich got on campus and collected his staff and developed this mantra of we are going to attack and finish in the fourth quarter. It's exactly what we did against New Hampshire when we won the game in the fourth quarter there. We've played well in the fourth quarter all season long, and I realize some of the results aren't there to really demonstrate that, but we played really well at UConn in the fourth quarter, and the game had not gone our way early, and so we were having to do a lot there at the end, but we were playing well, and certainly against Ohio on this past Saturday, you clearly saw how we were improving as the game went on. So, looking forward to getting back out there Saturday at a very good Western Michigan team and playing another round of MAC football.
Jeff, women's volleyball is off to a 5-0 conference start. They've got two massive home matches against Toledo this weekend, Friday and Saturday. What have you seen from that volleyball team so far this year?
Well, I think it's interesting when you listen to Lindsey talk about the process that they've endured this season. And when you allow that process, regardless of the sport, to play out and you start seeing the results that you're working for, it's really special. So for this team who had a really hard non-conference schedule, very similar to our football program, and to now in conference play begin to put it all together, to have trusted that the development in the early games, and to now see the success happen as a result of that consistent approach to preparing for competition and that consistent approach to executing a game plan. The results are happy, and it's a real sea change of attitude and effort from our team. And not to suggest that the attitude wasn't great and the effort wasn't great early on. It's just now that you are seeing the fruits of the labor of the process, it makes you work harder and it makes you want to achieve more. And that is really neat to see, particularly for this program, which, is storied in its own right, but it's a younger team and they're beginning to hit their stride. So they're a lot of fun to watch, highly competitive, and encourage our fans to come watch us on Friday.
Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Jeff, we really appreciate your time here this week and every week. We'll talk with you next Thursday. Thank you so much.
Mick, always a pleasure. Go Cards.
That's Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell live on WMUN on This Week in Ball State Sports. We'll go through a quick look at our sports that are taking action here this weekend. Ball State soccer, men's tennis, volleyball, field hockey, women's tennis back in action. Women's volleyball again Saturday. Football's on the road. Men's and women's swimming and diving also begins its season on October 11th. That's Saturday. Soccer again plays Sunday. Women's and men's tennis mixed in there as well this weekend. Men's and women's golf had some big tournaments on Monday and Tuesday as well. So that's a look at what's coming up and what has been for This Week in Ball State Sports. Go ahead and check out ballstatesports.com/calendar for all of Ball State athletics events coming up and that have already completed as well. Special thank you to Leslie Griffin for producing here today. Thank you, Coach Uremovich, Jeff Mitchell, and Lindsey Green for joining the show as well. Each and every week we're live Thursdays 9 to 9:30 a.m. right here on WMUN. Visit This Week in Ball State Sports wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to this replay or all other replays as well. That'll do it for this Thursday morning. Thank you for listening, Cardinals. Have a great rest of your week.